And they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I got to a point where I just broke down. I had like that spiritual experience and I felt better. And I went into her office the next morning because I would just barge in, of course. And I was like, I surrendered. I'm like, listen, I'm 34. I have 2 kids. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need help. I don't know how to live. I don't know how to live without drugs and alcohol. I don't know how to be a mom. I don't know how to be a person. Please help me. Please show me the way. And she did. And the groups here did.
Hi, my name is Isabel, and you're watching The Sober Spill. Today we have on my friend and Mountainside alum, Allie B. Today I'm here with Allie B. For the people that don't know you,
Hi,
tell them
guys.
who you are.
It's me, Allie B. I came to Mountainside in 2020, got sober. I've been sober ever since, by the grace of God. I'm a mom. I work. I'm in school full-time in recovery.
Brave.
So brave.
Yeah.
And, I came here because I was asked by Isabel, who I admire, and I just came to share my story with you guys.
And how do we know each other?
Well, so before I got sober I think it was 2017, funny story, I worked at Turnbridge, but was not sober at the time. And you were a client there and used to take your urine.
Yeah, assisted in my pee tests.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a quick way to bond. Cindy following me into the bathroom.
Oh my God. Everyone there that was a fun time.
Yeah. It always seemed kind of unhinged. And so it made sense like later in life when I ended up finding out that like you didn't get sober until like later on.
Yeah.
Like it was always so chaotic there.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, because in active addiction, you think nobody knows and you're being so secretive.
Yeah.
But really, everybody knows.
Yeah, there was a vibe. Yeah.
I remember I called someone and I was like, oh, yeah, no, I wasn't sober when I was working there. They're like, no crap. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. They're like, gasp, you? No way. All right. So let's walk us through it a little bit. Like, where are you from?
I am from West Haven, Connecticut. I lived there till about middle school.
So you're not a blue devil.
No, I'm not. There was a lot of trauma that happened in West Haven, and I was sent to East Haven, and that's where I resided until 5 years ago or so when I moved back to West Haven to start my recovery journey. So it's just been a lot of havens.
Yeah. You got to hit North Haven next.
I like a few restaurants there, so I visit.
They've got Haven Hot, the chicken place.
My dad keeps telling me about that. I have yet to try it.
That would be my death row meal. It's so good. It's like stupid good. Every time I'm down there, I get it.
All right, now I have to try it.
Yeah, anytime when I've had surgery, I'm immediately like, take me to Haven Hot, like blast it out of my mind. I'm like, get me a sandwich now. Well, all right. So after Mountainside, you went to West Haven.
I did. I lived there with my mom and my 2 kids. I have 2 girls, Megan and Mila. Megan is 12. I'm going to have a teenager this year.
Scary.
I can't even believe I'm saying that out loud. And my other daughter's 7. She'll be 8 in May. And I have full custody of both of my children. And we just, it's a house full of women, loud Italian women. And we just try to make it work the best we can. And I'm definitely, I'm the sounding board. I'm the root of the tree. Everyone's kind of my branches. And, if I didn't get sober and work a program, everyone would just still be chaotic. It's like breaking those generational curses and making a change.
Totally. Yeah. And those family relationships, I'm sure it took a while to earn the trust back too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, if I go out listen, I'm going to be 40 this year.
Yeah.
If I go out for the night and I don't come home, my mother will call me and go, where are you? What are you doing? Why are you not home? And I'm like, Mom, 40.
Yes.
Like, what do you mean? I'm out with a friend. So yeah, it does. It takes a while to earn back trust. And it also takes a while to learn how to trust again yourself, trust other people.
Yeah.
And be vulnerable. That's That's something else.
Yeah, and beginning to trust your judgment too, that you're capable of like making decisions, which I know for me, I still call, like I'll call my sponsor, I'll call a friend. I need as much feedback as possible, but
Oh, yeah.
it's a
There's a top
process.
5 I call
Yeah.
because still, like, I'm like, "How?" And then the things I think of, I'm like, "Wow, that doesn't seem rational." So that's why it's so important in recovery to build a community because the opposite of addiction is connection, and I need my group of people. They have carried me through, carried me through.
Yeah, totally. That's like a lot of those girls from Turnbridge, like Willa, Danielle, we have a group chat every morning to check in with each other. Like it's so important to stay because those are like, at the end of the day, if I fall, those are the people that are going to pick me up, right? Like,
You're gonna make me cry already
yeah.
because having seen all you girls and me being that was about the time where I was ready to start really descending into my bottom. That inevitably brought me here to Mountainside, but to see you girls have gotten it there and to see the light in you guys and you're all still together, like you inspire me to stay sober. Like that's kind of how life works. And I think that's so beautiful.
Yeah, it was such a cool moment when you asked me to go speak in West Haven, like seeing you also like seeing you be a part of that community and like really be in it because you can tell when people are they're talking the talk but they're not walking the walk, but you like actually work a really solid program. Like you do all of these things and you put your all into them.
Yeah, I think I started drinking and drugging when I was 12 years old, and I didn't get sober till I was 34. So, a lifelong battle with addiction. And I started going to meetings when I was 17. And I would go to meetings. I would relapse. I would come back. I would try to meet guys. I would just go to hang out. And it wasn't really until coming here in 2020 where it's like, it literally says half measures availed us nothing. Like you can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I had to jump into this program with both feet and finally like do the work. When I was here at Mountainside, there was like a very spiritual moment I had by the waterfall because my detox is so bad. And Ariana would just say, okay, you don't have to go to group. Go take another mindful walk alone. Because no, it's a benzo detox after abusing benzos and heroin for 20 years is crazy. And, sitting at the bench out there by the waterfall, and there was like this moment where I realized no one's coming to save me. Like, you have to do that. You put yourself here. You have to get yourself out of here. You walk 10 miles into the woods, you got to walk 10 miles out. You have to do the work. And it was like, okay, like God, if you let this detox go away, it's me and you. I'm here and I'll put in the work. Like I'll do it. And like the next morning, my detox was like better. And when people say things like that, I'm like, you're lying.
No, that
But
was my experience.
this is like
too.
a real life. There was even a leaf that flew into the bottom of the waterfall. Like these things happen if you let them. If you're open, if you're ready to receive it, you'll see the messages, you'll see the way. And that I have chills. Like that really happened. And by the grace of God and doing the work, I will have 5 years sober this year. And it's like, I never thought this would be possible. Never. It wasn't in the cards for me. My father didn't get sober until after I got sober. My mother's still not sober. Like, my stepfather got sober after I got sober. This wasn't the way it was supposed to go for me. But I came here and I just did it. I just did it. And, in 2020, I overdosed and I was non-responsive for 3 days in the ICU. And it was during COVID, so nobody could go to the hospital. And when I came to, I felt relieved. Like the jig is up. Like I can't lie my way out of it this time. Like this is very obvious what happened. Cause I would like nod out and I would tell my mom I had COVID. Like I must have had COVID 40 times.
They're like, this girl's immune system is
like,
garbage.
Whoa, where does she keep getting this from? She's always sleeping.
Yeah.
But I couldn't lie my way out of this one. And thank God, because I felt relief. I felt 20 years of lying fall off me. And I just knew. I knew I had to go away, and I knew I had to get off of those freaking benzos. So they're bad.
Yeah, because I remember from your story, you were on benzos for how many years?
from 12 to 34. So what is that? I'm not good at math. Hot girls don't do math.
Agreed.
22 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you know what? When I was 12, I got hit by a car. And I was in a hospital bed for a year of my life. You know, that's on top of the other trauma, on top of then I had to move. I got bullied. And after like moving and getting bullied, I shut down. I'm like, I'm done. It was 8th grade. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to do school anymore. Like, I'm all set. And my mom's like, she took me to her doctor and they're like, okay, here's Klonopin. And that's how it happens.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Giving
right?
a 12-year-old Klonopin.
My daughter is 12. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I bet that really puts it in perspective.
It really, really does. And she has struggled with anxiety where I actually have her homeschooled. But this is how life works. I got to be the mother she needed that I never had because I would never put my daughter on a benzo. Like, she's 12. She's a baby.
Yeah, and that's breaking those generational curses too, where it's like and that's also a big part of, I feel like, reparenting yourself, being able to like give your inner child what it needs, like having a child and being able to support her in that way. It's very like nurturing to you as well.
And I say that, you know, I've had conversations with people in recovery over the years and they're very stuck in their trauma that has happened to them. And I'm not stuck in it. I don't dwell in it because it's not going to do any good. And they're like, well, how did you heal that? I said, I heal it by being the mom to my 2 daughters that I never had. And it heals me to see them, to see how much they love me, to see the things we do, to see how, you know, my oldest daughter, you can't say boo to me because she's like, oh no, that's my mom. Like, you don't even look at her that way. Like, you know, this love, this relationship I built with them, the Disney cruises. Like, I just booked us a trip in June, 5 nights. We're going to Puerto Rico. Like, never.
I'm coming.
You could come.
Oh, yeah.
The resort we're staying at is sick. So, but it's like, you know, I just want them to see the world and experience, and I want to see the world, and I want to do it with them. Like, a gift that sobriety has given me is, at the end of the day, both of my kids still sleep in my bed with me. Yes, they do. Yeah. But at the end of the day, when I'm laying in my bed, you know, a 10th step is every night, if I could lay my head on the pillow knowing I didn't do anything wrong that day or feeling guilty, that's my like daily 10th step.
Yeah.
Because you know, you're the only one who really knows what you did that day and really knows how you moved and what your intentions were. And if I could lay my head gently on that pillow knowing I had the best of intentions for that day, then I'm good. And my kids are laying with me and I'm present in a moment. That's a gift.
Yeah.
Those are my happiest times. And I get to do it often. And, you know, this is a girl who used to wake up in beds of people she didn't know where she was or who was next to her, and, you know, wake up and just try to grab the next drug I see. And today I know where I'm going to bed and I know where I'm waking up, and wow.
Yeah, it's those little moments where it registers where it's like, this is my life. Like, when I was at Turnbridge, my sister invited me to go prom dress shopping with her. And I remember crying outside of like the changing room while she was in there because I just couldn't believe that I was like there with my family doing something like this. And it seemed so small, but that was like so profound, being allowed back into their lives in that capacity.
It's so beautiful. And I think that if you keep it basic recovery, if you keep it basic life, and you keep that basic, I go to AA, I choose AA for my 12-step program. And if you keep it in basic text, you never have to return back to it, because guess what? Life is life. Life is always lifing. Mm-hmm. And especially like we're talking about school earlier, like going to school with 2 kids and recovery, there are days where I'm like, I want to just crash out. And I allow myself in my car to kind of crash out. If anybody sees me, if they're driving by me, they're probably like, wow, somebody should admit that lady. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I crash out and then I bring it back to the basics. And I remember like these moments, these little things that we have, like, I get to be with my children. I get to go to school today. I have a job. I never had like a real job in my entire life until I got sober, because I didn't know what it meant to show up for anybody other than myself. And I didn't care to know. And I was very entitled, but also a victim. So like, why would I even, who cares if I don't come to work for a week? Like, don't you know who I am and what I'm going through? So
yeah, if you were me, you'd do the same
of course,
thing.
if you grew up the way I did, you would do drugs every day of your life too. It's the same thing. It's the same story told differently for all of us. And that's what's so beautiful about it. And, like we all have our own journeys, but definitely like keeping it in the day, my sponsor, she's a wonderful woman. Her name is Jude. She's got 27 years sober. She has a resting bitch face. So I thought she hated me when I first met her. And you know me. So I'm like, why does Jude hate me? And then she's like, that's just my face. And I'm like, okay, be my sponsor because I love you now. But she tells me, and these are like golden words of wisdom to me, like, mind your own business. Who cares what's going on? If it's not your business, why do you care?
And I was so pissed when I found out gossip was a character defect.
Right.
I was like, come on.
What do you mean?
This is a hobby of mine.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I just watch reality TV because it gives me my fix. And then she's like, your sobriety is number 1. Your children are number 2. And everything else is a far third. So prioritize and make a list and make a gratitude list. And that will keep you where you need to be. And I'm like, wow, you're a genius, But those are the things that help me very much so.
And so right before you came to Mountainside, you overdosed, you were unresponsive in the ICU for 3 days. What got you from point A to point B?
What do you mean? What got me here or what got me to the overdose?
We know what got you to the overdose.
We know.
Yeah, it's tough. What got you to Mountainside?
So when I woke up, this is how I know there's a power greater than myself out in play, because I woke up and I just knew for some reason, I'm like, I have to go away and I have to go to Mountainside. I came to Mountainside when I was 18.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. So that's like 2004. I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to receive the gift. And, at 18, so I went out till I was 34, whatever that math is. And, this time was different. So when I woke up in the ICU, I'm like, I have to go away. It has to be Mountainside. I have to go to Mountainside. Somebody get me in there. And I got in 2 days. And I went to the detox. And I had the single room, which they called the Scott Disick suite at the time.
Oh,
it was
congrats.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And then we had Resi West.
Yeah.
Which is the most terrifying place on earth for me, because after the they had to put me back on benzos to detox me from benzos.
Yeah.
So that's how bad it was. When somebody has to medically put you back on a drug that you had been off of for 5 days because you were in like a coma or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's not, something's off here,
Yeah.
And so they had to put me back just to take me off again to then send me to West, where I really was feeling the detox.
Yeah.
And when I was at Mountainside, there was the most supportive group of people here and patient with me. There was workers here. That woman with the British accent that worked here, I forget her name. She worked at West. I don't know. I talked about her when I spoke that day. Somebody knew her name. But she sat with me at night. I was like shaking. And I was like, I didn't even know where it was. And I didn't think I was in my body. And I didn't think I was even here on this planet. And that woman just sat with me and she played me Harry Styles videos on her phone.
Soothing.
Okay. I love Harry. I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
And she just sat with me, and that's how it worked out for the rest of my journey when I came here to the mainstay. And these people just show up for you here. And that makes a huge difference, because it was very lost, very, very lost.
Yeah. And something that you say in your story about being here that really resonated with me is talking about going into therapy with Ariana, who's your clinician and is a literal angel. How it was the first time you ever felt safe, which as someone who suffered from childhood abuse, your nervous system, you never feel safe, no matter if you're sitting in a park, if you're in a dangerous situation, you never feel safe. And so to be able to finally get that respite was massive for you.
It was huge. Trauma lives in the body.
Body keeps the score, baby.
I was just going to say, read that book. That's like,
That changed my
it's
life.
so true.
Yeah.
Somatic release. Come on. And so, yeah, growing up with an alcoholic father who was very abusive, very physically abusive, a mother who just wasn't present, that followed throughout my life. In active addiction, you don't pick out the best friends or the best people or the best partners. So you're always in those situations. And coming here, you know, especially through the detox, I was so scared. I didn't know what was going on. There was days where I would come down to the staff and I would ask them, like, did I really die in that car accident? And this is like a dream? Like that, my mind was so far gone that I never thought it was going to come back. It's like a bad acid trip. Like you know, is this ever going to end?
Yeah, where am I?
Horrifying. And Ariana put me at such ease. Like I felt safe. She let me know it was going to be okay. This is what detox really is. Because, you know, when you're out there using, especially if you use opiates or benzos like I did, you try to avoid detox at all costs. Like that is...
See, you won't be sick.
That's the worst thing. And to really sit and go through it, you know, horrifying. But she assured me, like, that's what it was. Like, this wasn't some kind of like crazy mind trip I was never coming back from. And she just talked to me and we did EMDR and the mindful walks. And I had never in my life up until that point trusted anyone, because who was there to trust? There wasn't really anyone. And if you did ever trust somebody, they let you down. They hurt you, something. And for some reason, again, it wasn't me. There was a power, you know, whether it's the universe or God, like I trusted this woman and I let her in. And they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I got to a point where I just broke down. I had like that spiritual experience and I felt better. And I went into her office the next morning because I would just barge in, of course. And I was like, I surrendered. I'm like, listen, I'm 34. I have 2 kids. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need help. I don't know how to live. I don't know how to live without drugs and alcohol. I don't know how to be a mom. I don't know how to be a person. Please help me. Please show me the way. And she did. And the groups here did. And when you become open to receiving it, you hear things and you start identifying and not comparing. And you start taking in all of these things like, oh my God, going to AA my whole life, like hearing one day at a time or chime, this I must earn, or like, you know, ego and a higher power and like, you know, like half measures avail us nothing and all those things that old timers say. And you're like, that's so stupid.
100%.
Who came up with this crap? And then you become like enlightened and it hits you and you're like, oh my God, I don't have to know how to live my whole life right now. It's just one day at a time. Like that's all I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
All I have to do, a minute at a time, an hour at a time, a day at a time, is figure it out. Like there's all this material. All these people have done this before. All these things they're saying, they're not lying. Because I used to think like these people are so full of it. They're just coming to these meetings to hang out. They're really like drinking and drugging at night. Guess what? They're not. There's people are really sober and working this program and they're here to show you the way.
Yeah.
Like mind blown.
No, that's one of the most beautiful things, like sponsorship, being able to like give it back to the other person. That's what's, I'm sure there's a better way to say it, but like sponsoring other women has like rocked my world. Like it's so massively incredible.
Reading the big book, I have had a few sponsees. I have one right now. Reading the big book with her, going to a meeting, having her call me and like doing the work, it does probably more for me than it even does for her. And that's what they say, if you don't give it away, you can't keep it. And it's like a spiritual experience, like being there with someone and watching them want to show up and like watching them become a part of this group and
seeing the lights come on in their eyes. Yeah.
That's what we do this for. You know, the the third step prayer. It's like, relieve me of the bondage of self.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite thing because my whole life was all about me, no one else. And I could still get stuck on that. And I could make anything about me, I'm sure. But when I just say, relieve me of the bondage of self, because it's not all about Alison. It's about other people. Like life is like how you treat other people. And well, that's what I think anyways.
Yeah. And what was it like? So when you came home after being at Mountainside, what was it like with your kids? Like how were they?
You know, I went home. I went home the morning of Christmas Eve.
Oh,
So,
tough timing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. My birthday's 3 days after, and I remember like I was supposed to stay through it, but like the minute I heard that, I'm like, I'm not doing that. Bill me. If you like, I'm not, I budged on everything, but Ariana, she's like, no, just let her go home then. Like she's amazing. She's an angel of God. But so I went home and I'm like, hey guys, like
I'm home.
it's me. And, you know, everyone kind of treads lightly around you and everyone like you're a fragile glass. They don't want you to break. That goes away real soon, though. And people are right back to be like, get this done. Do this, you know, mom, dad, Hallie. But in that moment, people are like, you know, tread very lightly and just kind of like getting to know my kids, them getting to know me. And I think talk is cheap. I think it's your behavior and your modeling behavior.
Totally.
So I wanted them to see how I was going to move. And I make sure of that to this day, like 5 years later, like they're watching what I do, like not what I say. And just like bonding with them all over again was such an experience. I made an amends to my youngest daughter was young. You know, she's going to turn 8 now. So 5 years ago, she was 3. She doesn't really know, but my 12-year-old knows. And I sat and I made an amends with her. And, you know, just like spoke from the heart, like, hey, that person you saw, that was me when I was unwell, you know, because a big thing is the difference between guilt and shame. I'm not a bad person. I was sick and I didn't mean to do bad things. I was in this is a disease, right? It's a mind disease. I was sick. And like, hey, I just want you to see what it's going to be like going forward. Now, my daughter's father is in recovery, 17 years sober. So she understands. She understood. I took them to meetings with me. I still do sometimes. And I just show them the mother that they deserve, that I always wanted. And they've been great about it. It's so great. Like, my kids are the best kid. Like, I couldn't handpick better kids. Like, and the best part is like, I have them all the time. Like, and people go, they get that from you. Like, who else is around them all the time? And I'm like, it's like my heart flutters and stuff. It's like, this is the greatest blessing anyone could ever ask for. And it is those little things. Like, I don't need, sure, yachts are cool, right? Penthouse would be nice, but like, maybe those people don't have this kind of relationship with their children. And that's a love and that's something they'll never know. And that's the richest thing to have in this life. And
yeah,
what a blessing.
And I'm sure it helps you love yourself back too, like seeing your parts in your kids and being able to see the and like still see them as completely lovable. And like, yeah, I'm sure that's very helpful too.
Yeah, it sure is. Because there's, you know, for me, I'm my biggest critic. I'm so tough on myself. I'm a perfectionist, you know, because I received conditional love, right? So we know all the things, but you know, seeing someone's flaws, being vulnerable, seeing someone and learning how to love them with everything they are helps me to realize that I could do that for myself too. Because if you don't love yourself and you don't fill your own cup, you don't really genuinely love anyone else and you're not really helping anyone else.
Yeah. And then setting for the example for them too. You're graduating in June.
Well, I'll have my bachelor's in December.
That is so exciting.
Listen, I'm an addict. I love instant gratification.
I know, having to wait.
I love not having to work for
Yeah.
things. Pretty is a privilege. It really is. This I am working for. I am doing all the work. And that's how I know this is going to be one of the most rewarding things in my life.
Totally. It feels like I'm suiting up to go to war every time I have to write a paper. I'm like, this is terrible.
Every time I drive to class, I kind of cry for a minute. And I'm like, what's going on? A psych lab. What? I'm in a psych lab? Okay.
Yeah.
Doing research experiments.
Yeah, don't they know I used to shoot heroin?
Right.
Yeah.
What am I allowed in here?
Yeah.
Going to school, doing the work, seeing my grades. I have a 3.94, which I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
And like seeing what happens when you put in the work and like learning and secretly diagnosing people in my head when I talk to them. And so it's amazing. It's hard, but if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Totally. Thank you for coming. This was a lot of fun.
I love you.
Yeah, I love hanging out.
This is great.
Yeah, this is great. We got to get Romeo back in here now.
I love Romeo.
I know.
And I can't wait to get a mug from Mountainside.
Yeah, don't worry. It's coming. All right. Thank you for watching The Sober Spill. Please like and follow for more.
If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, Mountainside can help. Call 860-365-6764 to speak with our caring treatment team.